Welcome back. Democracy seems to be getting a bit of a short shrift these days in Russia, according to reports of political demonstrations being violently broken up by police and independent journalists hounded. The only thing that seems certain to continue is the admiration that President Putin is held in by the majority of his people, an admiration that only seems to increase. Meanwhile, Russia's disparate opposition has been left to unite under the umbrella of the Other Russia, an organization that includes a wide array of political opinion in the country. And joining me now to discuss this is a key member of the Other Russia. He's the leader also of the National Bolshevik Party, Eduard Limonov. Why did you decide to put together this very, very wide-ranging coalition of different views?
It was a necessity of political struggle, and we don't see how else we can win the power, political power in our country, because our electoral processes is falsified by the Kremlin, and most of the organization which united inside of coalition of the Russia, they are not registered even for, they are not eligible for participation in elections. So we have no choice as to unite us in such a broad coalition, broad because we have among us, we have the liberals, we have the people with a socialist beliefs, and also my party, what was recently forbidden and declared the extremist. So it is political necessity.
And in terms of political necessity and elections and so on, I've seen polls where President Putin gets as much as 80% support. So obviously, if he was running again, which he isn't, he would win. But how do you try and beat his successor?
Excuse me, I am hearing constantly about those fabulous 80% or 70%, but so especially the foreign journalists like to use those incredible ratings of Putin. But I couldn't find the source of such rating. I don't believe. I think it's a mythology. I think it is invented. I mean, I'm talking about those 80%. What I know exactly, that is a rating of Putin is about 32%. That is according to the Russian organization, what called Levada Center, yeah, and their rating is 32%. And it is not correct to talk about some mythological figures. I don't believe that that Putin can gain the majority of our population.
And you said on one occasion, in answer to the question, what means are permissible in order to achieve political ends, you were quoted as saying, all means are okay, except for betraying your ideals. Is that an accurate quote? Is that what you feel?
Yes, exactly. We decided to have the mutual candidate at presidential elections. Now we're having difficulties in choosing the person who's going to be, Mr. Kasyanov or Mr. Gerashchenko. Those two most important candidates, what we have for now, what coalition the other Russia trying to name as only one and mutual candidate. But I'm sure that we will overcome the difficulties and we will certainly choose between those two persons. Personally, I prefer to believe at Mr. Kasyanov, because he was already prime minister of Putin's government, and it seems to me that he has the more chances than anybody else.
What about
that is one of the that is one of the means to achieve the success, one of the means for coalition. The other mean, or what I'm arguing, I'm constantly trying to pursue, trying to convince my colleagues from coalition other Russia that we should participate in the parliamentary elections also. Despite the fact that the most of my colleagues believe that we shouldn't participate, that we should boycott the elections. I will explain in a few words why we should participate and in which form we should participate. In my opinion,
let me just come in there for one moment to ask you this important question, which is, what would be the basic difference between Russia today and Russia with your party in power, your group in power? What would be the difference between Putin's Russia and your Russia?
You see, I don't believe that any individual party, including no exemptions I'm making for a National Bolsheviks party, could win the elections. I believe that our parliament will be a multi-partial parliament. It will be many different political organizations in a parliament, and we are destined to create the coalition government. No one party could charm Russian electorate today, but coalition government is the best what we can do. So I cannot speak about the situation when my party will come to power in Kremlin. It's absurd. But we are having very good perspectives to come all parties together and to create the coalition government.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In a few minutes, I'll be talking to the celebrated playwright of apartheid South Africa, John Carney, about becoming a post-apartheid writer. That's after the news, which is next.